What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Fans Hobby X-Load, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale Overload from the Transformers Armada cartoon. Yes, another load figure. This was sent to me by G. Tony. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. He also sent the Fans Hobby Skyflame, their version of Jetfire, so we can take a look at it. Later, he'll be sending the Armada Prime, so we can combine them into the fully combined mode. So we're not going to do that today, but we will take a look at this figure. And I just had to have a confession up front here. I'm not an Armada fan. I just can't get into it. I did buy the Jetfire because it's Jetfire. If you don't know, I'm a big Jetfire fan. If you haven't been watching my channel for a while, you probably would know that. But I just couldn't get into even Jetfire from Armada. It just wasn't for me. So if you detect a lack of enthusiasm, it's because I'm just not a big Armada fan. But I'm going to try to evaluate this figure just on its own without that in mind. I try to do that in general anyways. But let's take a look. We do get the little truck here that can tow the trailer. It does have some paint on it. You got light gray, dark gunmetal, gold here for the lights, black for the windshield and the side windows, a little bit of gray paint there. The wheels are just like done and riveted on. I mean, it looks very, very childish, kind of all around. It feels kind of childish. It feels like something you'd pick up at like Target. So I don't know. It does roll, but it just, the look and feel of it, it doesn't feel like a premium toy, you know, to be honest. For the trailer, it looks a little bit nicer. You got some silver paint, gold, yellow, that same light gray, gold here. It does have working treads, so you can see the wheels. They all rotate. Rare that we get a working tread with rubber tread. It actually rolls. Usually it's a fail from third party, so this one works. These legs don't like to stay tabbed in. As soon as you pick it up, it comes untabbed. That's one of the little issues, but it does look a little bit better, I would say, than the cab itself. If you come to the bottom here, you can pull down on this piece here. You can pull apart these two pegs, and that's how you attach it to the truck here. And these are just a nuisance, to be honest. But this will plug in right here. And again, I got to be honest, this isn't the best connection. So as you rotate, sometimes that it can be really tight. Yeah, you can see it just comes off because the tension on the rotation is tighter than the tension on the attachment point. And that's pretty silly. But it does roll with the cab or the truck. It's just, this is a poor choice for a design for the hitch. But you can't do that. If you come to the back here, we can open these up. And I guess I already had them open, but those will kind of hold on to their version of Jetfire. It just sits right there. You can see it kind of butts up against the back there. And this also has some fitment issues, but I'm not here to talk about that. But you can see it locks in place. So the way they designed it, it fits in kind of, not locks, but it has pieces that hold it. So that will work. But it's really this connection point for the tow hitch that is a problem. But you can do this. This happened in the cartoon, so you can pull around Jetfire and have this displayed like this, and that's pretty cool. And for a quick size comparison, since we don't have the Fans Hobby Armada Prime, here is the repaint, the Chosen Prime, and Fans Hobby exclusive. And it is the same mold, so you can see it fits in nicely, but it also has interoperability with this. So if we come to the bottom here, detach this truck, which comes off very easily. You can slide those in, fold that up, slide these out. These are very delicately held there. They don't really lock into place. And then open up these two. And these two little slots here will fit over the end right here. Not these tabs, but just the end of this gray piece. And it's kind of hard to see, to be honest, and it doesn't hold all that well. Just friction fit, that's really it. That's what you're going to get. It does roll. You can't rotate it because there's no rotation point. There's no pivot point. But you can do that. And then, of course, you can bring in Jetfire and set him on top, and now he can ride along. Cool gimmick, just not executed all that well, especially the connection point. All right, now let's get him transformed into robot mode. There's actually a mini robot mode, and this can also turn into a gun. So let's start with that. We will come to the bottom here, pull the legs down, fold these out. We can flip this panel down, or this handle down. These will fold. They're going to rotate here. There's a little tab right here that prevents it from rotating. I'm not really sure. I guess it plugs in somewhere else, but you have to kind of rotate this and still get it by. I kind of like how it works, but lift the head up and then rotate this around, being careful with that tab. And then you can put the head back down, and then we can bring these up, fold the arm back. So it'll look something like this. And there's the handle. And like I mentioned, I don't have Armada Prime. I guess I could put it in my exclusive, but one last touch here. We got to open these up, and there's this gun mode. It's okay. I mean, you could use it with a larger figure, but it does have the rail system like you'd expect. I just think it looks silly. But let's continue the transformation. So close those back up. Bring these down. You can kind of see those are going to make the arms. And we got to get his head out. So fold this handle back up. Open this up. And we're going to flip the head out. Close that panel back up. Let's straighten out the legs. And there is the mini robot. Is having trouble standing. I don't know, man. This thing's not great. But there's the mini robot. He's got gold and dark blue for the face. The face is almost too dark. Even with the bright lights here, you can barely see the face. Gold for the eyes. Maybe that's how he looked, but I just think it's a little too dark of a paint. All that same detail we had before. Instead of hands, he's got whatever the heck that is. Here's the back. Obvious head syndrome. Also, if you want, just for funnies, you can do this and have super deformed version. I don't know. But we're going to leave that like that because we're going to continue transforming it. So bring this up. Fold it back like you're basically transforming it back into the truck mode. Rotate this up. And oh, sorry, we have to rotate this up and then tab these legs back in and tab them in on the back as well. So you should end up like basically with a truck but a head on the top, and you can drive around again. More fun, super deformed stuff. All right, set that aside because we're going to use that later. And now we'll take care of this. I'm not going to go into base mode. I think we'll do that when we get the combined mode. So open up the legs. Everything is a little floppy down here on the legs, to be honest. But we're going to pull apart these feet. So bring the toes down. This will come to the back. You just rotate this around and let it sit on the back. Same on the side. And now we can stand them up and take care of the rest. On the front here, we can take this panel, slide that up. I'm going to slide this entire thing back on a slider here. So this torso is actually sliding. So you see it made a little space there. So that space is for this to come down and sit right there. Then we'll come to the top here and take care of these arms. So unpeg them from each other. Bring them down. As you bring them down, these pop out. They're spring loaded. I just found that a weird thing, but slide this forward. All this plastic feels weird. But bring this in and cover that up rotate the arm to the outside, bend at the elbow, open this up, flip out your hand, rotate the hand so it's the right direction, and then close up that panel. Very typical for a masterpiece. Let's see. Go ahead and bring this all the way down. Bring this down. This will tab in. There's 2 pegs on the top of this, so it clicks into place. And then this will slide in and kind of lock in place. On the inside of the arm, you're going to fold in these panels. And that's one arm done. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Right, next, go ahead and slide the arms back on these sliders. And then we're going to pull up on these. It's kind of hard to get it out of there. It's silly stuff like this that just makes you not enjoy transforming. Okay, I guess you can reach your fingernail in there, but sometimes it gets stuck. Okay, so we're going to take the knees, slide them down, and I know it might have looked better up, but slide it down so you have the yellow part is his kneecap. I'm going to put this back in. That just needs to be glued in. It's a screw cover. And then the finishing touches on this guy is to slide the head unit down. These pins will fit right here in a groove right there. So line that up first, then push that down. Getting it back out is a little trickier, so I'll mention that later. But to get that back out, you kind of pull apart a little bit, and then you can pull it up. All right, and there's X-Load in a robot mode. That just thing, it just is hideous to me. I really don't like how it looks. Let's put the cartoon there so at least those that appreciate the cartoon can see how accurate it is. It's got some paint, silver paint, gold paint, blue paint here, accents. That same truck front shows there. Gold, yellow, silver on the feet. Here's the back. It does clean up relatively well. Let's go over his articulation. Head is on a ball joint, but the neck panel itself can go up and down a little bit. So he gets up to there, down to there, side to side, and it rotates around. And again, I think the paint is a little dark. I'm guessing that's what it looked like, but it just seems a little dark. Rotation of the shoulder on a ratchet, up to the side on a ratchet. Plastic does feel a little bit soft. Rotation at the elbow. Double jointed, or rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. You have rotation at the wrist. Fans hobby style hands. These are actually done well. They're done like the Jinrai Prime. So you got fully articulated fingers. And then the thumb is on a ball joint and a pin. So I was surprised to see these. Pretty well articulated. Coming down to the waist. We have a waist rotation. No ab crunches due to the way this transforms. You have kind of 2 hip joints here. It's a little awkward. So there's this, which can go back, and then that goes up to there and gets blocked up. But then you can bend it here on the front. So there's this lower hip. You can plug that in to go forward. Or there's this upper hip. It's very strange. Out to the side on a ratchet. Rotation at the thigh. That's an interesting joint. Single jointed knee gets you just about 90 degrees. You have not ankle tilts. You have a toe tilt and a heel tilt. You have forward and backward ratchet on the toe and on the heel. So you can kind of get, a downward look, but as far as accessories, he really doesn't come with much of anything. You get these 2 missiles, which can't really be used in this mode. I guess we could plug it in just to have it. These will fit in right here. And we can leave it there, but these will fire. They're very powerful, so just be aware of that. And we lost our screw cover again. And we also have a light up head. So not an accessory, but I guess a gimmick. Come to the back here and you pry open this panel. there is a battery compartment here, and we can take that out, and it comes with the battery. So I was really surprised that they included the battery with it. So I actually don't know what kind it is. CR927, and I just lost it. I was just talking to my friend Bobby about that, but always dropping stuff. But this will fit in here. I think it's going to be plus side this way. Let's see if that works. This is magnet operated, so let me just grab a magnet and see if we got it yet. We did. And then we can put that back in the head. Make sure you put the light forward as you put it in the head. And now we can turn the head on. Now it's really silly what they've done to allow you to turn the head on. You actually have to remove this if you don't have a magnet. And you open up this, and this has a magnet in it, and that will turn on the eyes. So there it is, light up eyes. Then you can put it back. I find that super irritating that that's how they did it. Made a lot more sense just to have a separate piece, but if you have a nice powerful magnet like this, you can turn it on and off very easily. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Fans Hobby clutch, their version of clench, or the Armada Prime base robot. And pretty big figure here for Fans Hobby. Oh yeah. So final recommendations on the Fans Hobby X-Load. This one's from a mixed bag for me. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 partial recommendation. And let me explain why. The vehicle mode looks okay, and it does have some interoperability, but the hitch for this guy is relatively loose, doesn't work all that well. So I figured maybe it works well with Optimus, but that one's not that great either. It does display Jetfire nicely on top, but overall the gimmicks there just don't work all that well. Then we get to robot mode, and there are no accessories, there's no weapon, there's no gun. You do get these missiles, but they cannot be used in either the vehicle mode or the robot mode. Trying to get it into like a fun pose, this is about the best I can come up with. He's just a little bit limited in some areas. And without any accessories, it's kind of hard to just make him fun. So I think this is really intended for people who are planning to combine it with Optimus, with the Naval Commander figure. And that's why it gets a partial recommendation, because if you're planning to do that, it's probably pretty cool as the shoulder missile thing, which we'll take a look at when we do the combined mode review. But as a standalone figure, it just doesn't cut it, you know. And I thought, well, maybe this is a cheaper figure, so they didn't give you the accessories. No, this is a $170 figure. On TF Source, it was $180. So that is a really high price point to come with no accessories and to have gimmicks that don't really work all that well. So yeah, for me, this is kind of a fail, but I can't judge it yet for the combined mode just because I haven't looked at it. So we will take a look at that, so stay tuned for that. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to G. Tony for sending this for review, and we'll see you next time.